We've got joining us Mr. Saurabh Mashruwala, who's the CFO at Torrent Power. They don't speak very often on television, so thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate you being with us today on the channel. Let's begin then by talking about that big beat in your Q1 numbers this time around, and I think that's largely been led by the boost from the merchant sales. Going forward, do you think that we will see this momentum continue?
Yeah, yes, if you look at the country's power demand, it is growing at healthy rate of 8.5% last 3 years. And the capacity which is going to coming up is about at the pace of 5%, and mostly the renewable capacity is coming up. So there is a huge gap between the demand and the supply, and which is reflected in our Q1 result, where we can able to sell higher quantities in merchant power. And this situation, we expect that they will continue for a couple of years till the base load capacity is going to come on board.
Situation continuing, but I just want to understand what kind of volume growth we can anticipate and what is making you confident. The peak of the summer is behind us, so can you just tell us a little bit more about what kind of volume growth in terms of a number we can expect for the rest of the year?
We can't give the future guidance, but what we can say that during the summertime as well as the pre-winter period and during the peak period, the demand is very strong, very robust, I would say. So which will help us to increase our PLF going forward.
Right. Saurabh, how much of your Q1 sales could be attributed to Section 11? And, in fact, is there a possibility of an extension at all? Are you making some sort of presentations to the ministry already?
So it's not that significant, I would say, at this moment. But if you look at the Section 11, it's dependent on the many factors. First of all, it depends on the way the GDP is growing, the way the power demand is growing. And our view is that it can coexist with our merchants, our sales at the exchange, our sales to the bilateral basis as well as to our short-term consumer. And it can be coexist with the NVL tender also. So there is a good, it's not, and if you look at the situation, if you look at the gas-based power project, which was last 7-8 years, it was a drag on the balance sheet of the company. Now it's now turned out to be the opportunity for the company, for the gas-based power producer. And gas-based power producer have not returned the capital to their stakeholders. Now it's the time to return the capital to the stakeholders. So government is well about this situation, and they can keep the balance between the all possible options.
Could you put a number there? How much of your sales actually were attributed to Section 11 in this particular quarter?
I don't have the numbers right now, but it's about 10% kind of a things with the Section 11 shells.
But minus the merchant power business, why is that the renewable business, the solar energy business, they've been flat?
Yeah, PLF was a bit down this quarter because of the various factors. Wind resources are not in favor of the renewable sectors, so that was like impacted the renewable business.
PLF could be is a function of, and I'm breaking it for our viewers, PLF is a function of plant load factor. Plant load
Yes,
factor is a function of demand. Demand was strong, that's the reason why you sold merchant power. And for the quarter gone by, there was a lot of sun, and there was more sun than India needed, at least where your power plants are there. So why is there weakness? If demand was strong, if there was sunlight, if there was no rain?
Irradiation was lower by 5% this quarter as compared with the similar quarter of the last year. Plus, wind resources were also lower as compared with the similar quarter of the last year. That has impacted the renewable generation during the course of the last quarter.
LNG trading gain also, which has helped your EBITDA. Could this be recurring in nature or it's a one-off?
So whatever view is that since the demand supply situation is stressed in the country and new thermal capacity coming in, so our view is that at least next 5-7 years till the base load capacity is coming up. This kind of a situation will continue during the summertime, pre-winter period, as well as on the peak time.
You also have very large dependence on gas. Unlike a lot of other power companies which have coal, your gas is the center stage. And globally, gas prices have started coming down. When will this benefit of that start kicking in?
Seems like it has already started coming in. If you look at the last quarter, gas price was moderated. So it has started stabilizing, and our view is that going forward, the new capacity is coming up, which will help us to further lower the gas prices across the in the international markets, which will help us in supplying the more power from the gas-based project.
300 megawatts this year, another 700 to 800 megawatts by next year. Are you on track to do that? And next 24 months, what would be your total capacity then?
So as of now, our capacity, thermal capacity is 3.1 gigawatt. We have a operational 1.3 gigawatt renewable capacity, and we have about 3.1 gigawatt of renewable capacity under pipeline, which will be coming up in next 3 to 4 years per year. So we will be about total 7.5 gigawatt by in the next 3 years per year.
Parallel here, just for the benefit of our viewers, I'm using Tata Power as an example. Tata Power has decided not to expand their thermal power capacity. They only want to expand on energy transition and new sources of energy. At Torrent Power, are you getting a view which way you want to go? Thermal versus non-thermal, renewable versus non-renewable?
So major focus would be the renewable as well as green energy side. Thermal, as of now, there is no concrete plan, but we are focusing more on the renewable side. It depends on the opportunity. In case of thermal, it depends on the opportunity available.
Some new PPAs as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the split is of merchant that's fixed at the moment, and what is going to be the trend for the long haul?
So on the long-term basis, I would say medium-term basis, merchant revenue will be higher because the demand is very, very strong. And we have about 1.5 gigawatt untied up capacity, which is now helping us to sell more power in the merchant market.
As you expand the non-thermal and renewable capacity, would you be looking at more and more exposure coming from the merchant power capacity, or the split of merchant versus PPA in your new capacity addition would be in and around historical averages?
So new capacity which is going to come up is a renewable capacity. We have a more, it will be about 90% would be PPA kind of a capacity. And we have a very small capacity, which is we are planning for the merchant sale about 200 megawatt at this moment. But out of this 3 gigawatt of capacity which we are planning, only about 2.8 gigawatt is a long based contract with a long-term PPA.
Take state electricity boards. How is the receivable situation? Has it improved dramatically, or there is still a long credit cycle?
Yeah, it's because of this LPS scheme. Yes, we are able to recover the money quickly now. So recovery is on track right at this moment. The state discount.
Question: if I just look at the industry data which we read, the data is that in next 2 years, looking at the current demand of electricity and looking at the current generation, everything put together, it appears that India will have shortage of electricity. बिजली की कमी होने वाली है. What does that mean for Torrent Power if there is more demand and less supply?
It's a big positive for us because we have 1.5 gigawatt untied up capacity, which will help us to support this kind of a demand. And going forward, we are considering it as a big positive for the Torrent Power.
And where do you think eventually merchant prices will settle for you? Because there is one, affordability, and second is acceptability. Where do you think merchant prices eventually would move?
So it is around this level only because then if you look at it, you are able to sell power in the peak period about 10 rupees kind of a thing. So opportunities are available to sell power at a reasonably good rate.
Distribution income for Torrent Power? I mean, you also have a distribution business, right? I mean, that distribution business is a large business. Are you looking at expanding that also?
Yes, we are looking to expand distribution business also. If you look at the last 2 years, we have added a Daman and Diu area, which is one of the large area we have added. We are also investing in the Dholera area also. And very recently, we have started developing MBS area also in Gujarat. So we are looking at the opportunity for privatization in distribution also.
Many states, I mean, what is that business for you in terms of size, and if you're looking at expanding it, because it's a business where you have to invest and then the business becomes more like an annuity business. How large that business could be for Torrent Power in, let's say, 5 years?
So See, existing distribution business, we have a presence in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Surat, Gandhinagar, and we have presence in Dholera, Dahej, SEZ, and we have Daman and Diu is a very large area. So any new area which is going to come, we will take it up definitely, and we are very keen to expand our distribution business. But putting our numbers, I would say it depends on the opportunity which is going to come.
Have you on board. Thank you so very much for joining in and sharing with us those milestones and growth projection, and of course how the quarter gone by has been for Torrent Power. So plans to expand the distribution business. As of now, they are saying that the demand-supply mismatch will continue, but they are seeing the benefit of the low LNG prices keep trickling in.